Welcome to Lemoore City Council Chambers located at 429 C Street. This is the January 20th meeting. Please silence all electronic devices as a courtesy to those in attendance. Thank you. If you could please stand for the invocation given by Pastor Ricky Hemme and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we come before you with gratitude. We come in humility. First, I want to say thank you for the men and women who serve this city. Thank you for their willingness to give their time and their energy and their wisdom for the good of this community. Your word reminds us that there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. We recognize that leadership is both a privilege and a weight, and we're grateful for those who carry it faithfully. Lord, we pray for the city of Lemoore. We ask your blessing over our families, our schools, our businesses, our first responders, and every neighborhood represented in our town. May this be a place where people flourish, and may we, as scripture says, seek the welfare of the city that we call home. We lift up the council in this meeting to you. Grant wisdom in every decision, clarity and direction, unity, even when perspectives may differ. Your word tells us if anyone lacks wisdom, to ask you, and you generously give without reproach. May the wisdom be evident tonight, and may decisions made serve the common good of our town. I also pray for boldness and for courage when risky decisions come across the agenda. We pray that Lemoore would continue to grow and expand and reach new heights in the years to come. And finally, Lord, we ask for your protection and your peace on everyone in this room and over all those who call Lemoore home. We pray for our kids in our schools, our businesses and workers, our first responders, our sailors, and those they serve. Please meet the needs of those in this community who are struggling, those who are hurting, and help us to be an example of the salt and light in the world that you call us to be. Lord, bless us and keep us, and make your face shine upon us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ready?
To the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Brewster.
Here.
Councilmember Lyons. Councilmember Cruz.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gornick.
Here.
Mayor Matthews.
Here. Thank you. You guys may have noticed that Councilmember Lyons is not here tonight. Over the weekend, his family suffered the loss of his dad. So if we could just have a moment of silence for Mr. Dennis Lyons. Thank you. Agenda approval, additions and or deletions.
Item 4-3, we would like to move to the next meeting, if that's okay. And then I believe there was an item on here that is 4-7 that I would request that someone pull when we go through the consent calendar.
Thank you. We have ceremonial presentations. Item 1-1, Employee of the Month, Bruce German, December 2025. Mr. Benavides.
Here is this thing far forward?
It's forward.
Yeah,
It's super
I can high five you from here.
yeah, feels so close. All right, good evening, everybody. Well, these are my favorite things to bring to council is when we're celebrating and recognizing the hard work of all our employees. And I think this one was kind of cool because he was nominated by a whole bunch of people, the entire department, if I remember correctly. So Bruce, I think, has a bunch of words for us tonight. And without further ado, I'd like to invite him up. Employee of the Month.
Yeah. I actually have no words whatsoever other than the city, thank you. I think you guys just ran out of people to nominate and I'm it. So, but thank you guys, all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Also you guys. That's it.
Very well deserved. We'd like to take a photo opportunity with
Oh.
you.
Sure, Patty. Come on. Mrs. Mayor.
This guy.
Thank you. You've been here for a long time. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Good picture.
Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. I just want you guys to know, I do work for the city in the sewer department. He just got off work, he put his dirty hands on.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Here. Got it?
Next, we have item 1-2, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central California Proclamation. Got to take a big breath real quick. Proclamation by the Mayor of the City of Lemoore, National Mentoring Month, January 1st through 31st, 2026, honoring Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central California. Whereas January is recognized across the nation as National Mentoring Month, a time to celebrate the power of mentorship and acknowledge the individuals and organizations that make a lasting impact on the lives of young people. And whereas since its founding in 1969, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central California has served as a pillar of mentorship and youth empowerment, providing guidance, stability, and opportunity to children throughout the Central Valley. And whereas over the past 5 decades, BBBS of CC has positively impacted the lives of more than 30,000 children and their families, fostering resilience, leadership, and hope through one-to-one mentoring relationships. And whereas Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central California, that's just easier to say, has successfully implemented the High School Bigs program across 21 unified school districts, serving more than 4,000 children and families each year throughout Central California. And whereas through dedicated mentors, community partnerships, and innovative programming, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central California continues to inspire young people to reach their full potential, strengthening the fabric of our communities. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Lemoore hereby proclaims January 2026 as National Mentoring Month and proudly recognizes Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central California for its unwavering commitment to the children and families of our region and its enduring impact on future generations. In witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city to be affixed this 20th day of January 2026. If you'd like to come up and say a few words.
Good evening, Council. I would just like to express our gratitude and gratefulness for the recognition and continued support as we focus on helping the families and youth here in Lemoore. It confirms the importance of the work being done and serves as the empowerment for youth within our community here in Lemoore. And just to share, we do have 2 high school bigs sites here. We serve Lemoore Elementary and Cinnamon Elementary. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. We'll also call you up for a picture.
Yes.
We're taking so many pictures. Even during all of it.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more on mine, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Getting our steps in tonight.
Yeah.
Next, we have study session, item 2-1, transient occupancy tax review. Ms. Valdez.
I know, we can see yours. Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. So at the last January 6th meeting, we brought the transient occupancy tax review. And this is looking at an analysis of what we want to look to impose for an increase. So as a reminder, the transient occupancy tax is referred to as a hotel tax or a bed tax, and it's levied on the rent charges to guests who stay for 30 consecutive days or less in our hotels, motels, inns, and short-term lodging. So it's not an impact to our residents here. Our current TOT rate is 8%, and we base this on the 24-25 budgeted numbers to give us a baseline. So for 24-25, we budgeted 350,000 in revenue, and we actually collected 341,000. So for the purpose of this analysis, we assumed that there were no changes made, no behavioral changes, reduces in stays or price sensitivity, and our revenue increase is proportional with the tax rate. So based on our 24-25 actual collections, looking at bringing in an additional 1% each, for each 1%, it would equate to the equivalent of 42,700 in additional general fund revenue. Yes, sir.
I was trying to remember our discussion about where we were in the municipals around us with respect to this tax.
Low.
At the lower end, wasn't it?
We are at the lower end, correct?
Yes. We're currently the same as Hanford, who is also looking at going out to do an increase as well. Everyone else around us is pretty much at 10%, a few at 12.
Okay.
So for each 1% that we increase it, it's approximately 42,000, almost 43,000 in revenue that we would generate. And again, these projections are conservative in nature, does not assume any growth in additional lodging supplies, increased visitation or anything. So if we were at status quo as of right now, it would be about $43,000 a year.
Okay. So there's no action at this just study station except on the
We're just seeking direction from council. There was some interest in possibly increasing the transient occupancy tax. And we would like to know if you would like to move forward with that and what percentage you would like to increase it to, if you would like to do so. I believe Hanford is looking at increasing theirs to 12%. And what I shared at the last meeting was for myself, my recommendation would be maybe to be slightly under that. So either 10 or 11%, just because as someone who traveled a lot for club soccer with a child, I would look at what the total was that I was going to pay for hotels, and that would determine where I was going to stay. So assuming that the nightly rate would be the same at both hotels, if the tax rate is lower in Lemoore, then people may opt to stay here instead of staying at a hotel in Hanford.
Any questions, comments from council?
10% number. I don't want us to be so low that people think the quality isn't that good in some regard. You know, I mean, that enters into that as well. So, but as long as we're competitive, if other people are going to be above us a little bit, we're in that same range. But I think 10% is reasonable.
Also,
Current 8%.
right.
That's
and
just my thoughts. I don't know what my colleagues.
if I can just say again, because we have different people here that were at the last meeting, this isn't a tax on the residents. So this isn't a tax that would typically be paid by people who live in Lemoore. This is a tax paid by people who visit. who use the streets that need street repairs and all of those things. So it's not an additional tax on the residents. It's
Right.
just a tax on people passing through the city for one reason or another.
I'd be good with 10%.
I'm just gonna put my 2 cents in there. Personally, I would do the 12% because this does go to the voters. And if we were to change it later on and realize we should have raised it, we have to go back to the voters again, which is another cost. I know that I'm probably clearly in the minority here, but that's just my thoughts on that.
Explain that about going back to the voter.
To raise the TOT tax, it has to be voted by the voters. So if we raise it to 10, it goes out to the voters. If they choose to approve it and we realize that we need to increase it more, we have to go out to the voters again to increase it. Another 1% or another 2%, whatever is decided.
So the state requires us to go out to the voters for this. Okay. Yeah.
So I haven't reserved a room in Lemoore. What's the going rate on a hotel room in Lemoore?
I also haven't reserved a room in Lemoore because I have
Does
one.
anybody know?
Well, they're about $8. You look at our lot, look at 9 6, and then.
How do you know this, Tito?
No, we don't really want to have 8 kids with 23 grandkids on parents. So when my parents come for birthdays, I have to get them hotels.
Were you talking about the tax rate or the room rate?
Well, so the room rate, and then you throw the tax rate on top of that. That's calculated based off of the
Yeah.
room rate, right?
Right.
Yes.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying. So what is that? $8 in at $100? 10%? I mean, we're talking a few dollars. I don't care, whatever. Do we open this for public comment?
Yeah, I was just making sure you guys are done first.
Yeah, let's hear some.
Bruce, do you have anything to mention right now?
Yeah, so 12% relatively is sensible, in my opinion, especially with the rates of the rooms in Lemoore, plus the number of rooms that we have available for rent in Lemoore. Again, relative to Hanford's ratio, in my opinion. So 12% will be my pitch for that.
Preference?
So you just raised a point that I hadn't thought about. So does this, so if I have a backyard bungalow that I'm renting out.
Oh, Airbnb.
If you have an Airbnb, the TOT applies to Airbnbs for stays of less than 30 days. If you have a long-term tenant who's staying in your backyard bungalow for 6 months, they would not pay the TOT.
Okay. So potential no voters would be those who are Airbnb customers who didn't want to
Correct.
get caught in that. Yeah. But the other question is, do we know who all those Airbnb providers are in the city?
We already know the answer to that.
We don't?
No.
No, we don't. Oh, okay. Be a good way to find out.
So I'll go ahead and open this up for public comment. Is there any public comment on this item? Crickets? Oh,
Come on, Mr. Reed.
Mr. Reed.
Seeing as no one else going to talk, I guess I have to. Being that recently the citizens of Lemoore approved the increase in our sales tax, then even though this tax is going to be paid by visitors to the city, I think you're going to have a lot of people in the city who may decide, they're just money hungry over there at City Hall. And they may be opposed to it. So I would go for the more conservative 10% versus the 12%. Now, if you need to come back a year later for 12%, whenever we have another election, you could do that. But I would recommend that we just go with the 10%. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council.
How much does it cost to put this on the ballot?
So the county can't give us an exact amount because it depends on how many other items are going to be on the ballot for that election. Do you recall what our last election was? We're gonna have 2 items on there anyway, because we have 2 council seats, so this is a year to do it. But I mean, yeah, it depends on registered voters. I mean, I know what Fresno County's estimate was about 25,000. I'm not familiar enough with Kings County yet to tell you what the cost is.
Okay.
I'm okay with meeting in the middle at 11.
So I'm just reading the staff recommendation. What are you needing right now? You want an actual percentage deadlock, or what are we needing to agree upon right now?
A direction, yes, on the percentage that you want to pursue moving forward.
So let me ask this, if it fails, what happens? Just stays at 8?
Mhm.
You're thinking 12?
I'm relatively to what Hanford's intentions are. I think 12 would be sensible in my opinion.
Does anybody know how many hotel rooms we have? Ballpark?
I don't know the number. I know we did a hotel study recently that said that based on our size, we need about 100 more hotel rooms. So there's one looking at going on the corner of 19th and a half and Bush. But I don't know how many we have total in the city.
And the number of rooms for rent available, that's not counting that's excluding Palace.
Yeah, because that's county.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Director Valdez, you got any opinions on this?
Yeah.
What would you like to see us do?
My personal opinion is I don't review TOT on a facility when I'm looking to book a room. I'm looking at the convenience of the location, where it's at, how close it is to where where I'm going. I've never once considered the TOT rate on there. I'll book what's available and what's closest to my event. So
I like that
I would
answer.
go for the.
That's a very.
And I'll just say that I've booked hotels in other areas, and they're much larger TOTs. They also have other like downtown tax on top of it, several other district tax on top of it. There was when I stayed in Merced for a conference there, I think there were 4 different taxes other than sales tax on the hotel bill. So I think with us just having TOT, I don't think 12% is outrageous, my personal opinion.
I'm looking at amenities when I go somewhere, what do they have to offer?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you need?
That's the way my wife looks at it too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I do understand the city manager's point of, wanting to be a little bit less than Hanford
For sure.
to draw people here. But I think just even the safety aspect of Lemoore versus Hanford will draw people here. I think we have other things going for us that will help draw people here. Obviously, we need more hotels, so the hotels are being booked. So I don't think we're lacking in that area. I don't think that a 12% would necessarily push people to Hanford. So
Agreed.
that's just my 2 cents.
I'll meet you in the middle at 11.
What's your thought, sir?
I feel strongly about 12%, to be honest.
Yeah, make the motion.
It's a study session, so we just need consensus.
So
Where are you at, Gornick?
I'll go along with 12%.
Wow, so we have 312.
I mean, unless you find out that might not fly. I don't know, whatever else you're gonna do as a result of this, when let's say the cost comes in significantly high with respect to the election or something like that. I don't know. But if you want to move forward with us looking at a 12%, I'm okay with that.
I think in the long run, it will save us from having to raise it down the road. And if Hanford's already looking at 12, then we'll be comparable to the area. So it makes sense to do the 12 now and save a little bit of money instead of raising it another 1 or 2% later on.
Yeah.
So it looks like you have direction,
Okay,
or
you.
not direction, consensus. Yeah.
thank you.
I just
Thank you.
texted my wife. We were in Roseville this weekend at a volleyball tournament. There was 16%.
60%.
Probably. Yeah. We now have public comment. Public comment will be in accordance with the attached policy. This time is reserved for members of the audience to address the city council on items of interest that are not on the agenda and are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. It is recommended that speakers limit their comments to 3 minutes each, and it is requested that no comments be made during this period on items on the agenda. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda. Prior to addressing the council, any handouts for council will be provided to the city clerk for distribution to the council and appropriate staff. The public will have an opportunity to comment on items on the agenda once the item has been called and the mayor opens the item to the public. Is there any public comment at this time? Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Council. Hi, everybody. Alex C. Walker. I'm wearing a couple different hats tonight. First, wanted to start off with a personal one. That was a great honor to attend the Welcome Lodge's installation this past weekend. So I wanted to extend another congratulations to Councilmember Cruz and his fellow team members. It was really a wonderful event. Now, speaking on behalf of the Rotary Club of Lemoore, we are excited to announce that we are one of the sponsors for Flight Fest, which is coming up. So that's going to be a really exciting opportunity for our community to really connect with the service members, the Blue Angels, and just really come together and enjoy all the things that there are to enjoy in Lemoore. We also recently had a mixer for some of our new prospective members, so it's exciting that our club is growing. And if anybody in the audience or listening at home is interested in learning more about Rotary and our continued impact and service, please feel free to contact us, come visit a meeting, or even visit our website, which is also being updated to really tell the story of another project that we were working on this weekend, which is our upcoming trip to Guatemala. Us with Hanford Rotary and other Rotary clubs are preparing for the upcoming trip this year. This is one of our long-standing peace missions because one of our missions in Lemoore Rotary is literacy for Lemoore and water for the world. And it really is a heartbreaking story to really hear it and see it for yourself. So I'll be reaching out when those materials are updated accordingly. So make sure you stay tuned on social media to learn more about the incredible good that we're doing across the world and locally. Another incredible local event, I'm surprised that Bruce didn't bring it up, is the upcoming golf tournament from the Fire Departments Association. That'll be Monday, April 27th, 2026. I'm very personally excited for this, and Bruce has been an incredible champion. So again, congratulations to him on earning Employee of the Month. Now, speaking on the chamber, I have another fellow board member in the audience today. It's not too late to get your tickets for the upcoming installation dinner. It's an incredibly exciting opportunity to celebrate our community. We have Citizen of the Year on the dais. Congratulations again, Miss Matthews. We also have our Business of the Year, J.V. Burrows, Organization of the Year, Golden Nest Food and Needs Center, and First Responder of the Year, Soledad Perez, who is another personal hero of mine. She's been an incredible member of our community, and this is well-deserved. Tickets are available. There's also sponsorship opportunities, so feel free to reach out to the chamber. And another thing that's coming up in downtown Lemoore on Saturday, October 17th to the date will be the 50th anniversary for the Ceremony Museum. I'll be reaching out when we get these updates a little bit closer to then. We'll also be updating our website, but really want to express that this is a really exciting year for Lemoore. And it really coincides with other anniversaries like the 125th reunion, which will be Saturday, June 20th for Lemoore High School, as well as America's 250th anniversary. With that said, I'll yield my 5 seconds back to the council. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take a breath. Any other public comment? Mr. Wells.
so it's hard to follow that. But I do want to kind of piggyback on what Mr. Walker was talking about with the Chamber of Commerce. Yes, the installation dinner is going to be our next event. It's coming up on the 30th. Following that is going to be on February 5th, and this is with the city of Lemoore in partnership. There's going to be like a lunch mixer going on at the rec center. So it's going to be a good opportunity for business owners or anyone, interested citizens, just to kind of mix and mingle, have lunch. It's going to be again, it's going to be February 5th, 11:30 to 1 at the rec center in the dance room. Our own city attorney is going to be there giving us a presentation. So yeah, come on. It's gonna be a good time. Very informative.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Go ahead, ladies. Brittany, can you pull the microphone down? Maybe that will help.
Sure.
My name is Zuri. My name is Zuri, and I'm a Girl Scout from Troop 7147. We're here today because we're working on our democracy badge.
They're working on their democracy badge. But they also wanted to tell you guys about some stuff that we have coming up. So who wants to tell them about what's coming up right in the East Coast?
We are starting Girl Scout pre-order season for cookies, and we start on February 1st.
So we will start making
delivery.
deliveries on February 1st. The girls have already started taking orders for the 2026 cookie season. And why is it important if you pre-order? When do the booths start?
Because booths start February 7th.
So it's hard.
February 17th, did you say?
You can get your cookie beforehand and you can. So, if you girls want to say anything else?
Thank you for letting us be here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming.
You have caramel delights?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Okay, see?
So we have this new cookie called Explore S'mores. Explore S'mores, and they're really good.
What are they based on?
They're based on Rocky Road ice cream.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to department and city manager reports.
I have none. I believe the chief has an update.
Caramel delights, boy.
Good
Fill that
evening,
whole
Mayor and
box right
Council.
now.
I don't have a whole heck of a lot to report out, but we're currently working on our annual report for 2025. Like I said, the numbers look real good. The total calls for service were down, total crime cases were down, both misdemeanor and felony arrests were up. Robberies, thefts, and auto thefts were all down. Collisions and criminal traffic collisions were all down. So tentatively, they're looking pretty good. The only other thing I have is the Tulare Kings 162nd Academy graduation is this Thursday at 1:30 p.m. in Visalia. We have 2 officers who will be graduating from this academy class. So if you'd like to attend, just let me know and I'll give you further information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So that's fine. We'll go ahead and move on to consent calendar. Items considered routine in nature are placed on the consent calendar. They will be considered and voted upon in one vote as one item unless a council member or a member of the public requests individual consideration. 4-1, approval minutes, regular meeting, January 6th, 2026. 4-2, information only, Finance Department update, December 2025. 4-4, approval acceptance of grant funds from Game Time for playground equipment at Lemoore Little League Park and budget amendment. 4-5, approval budget amendment for awarding the comprehensive fee study to IG Service. 4-6, approval bid award SA Camp Pump and Drilling Company. 4-7, approval resolution 2026-03, accepting grant funding from the Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation. 4-8, approval appointment of Lemoore Parks and Recreation Commissioners. 4-9, information only, the Police Department update, December 2025. 4-8, approval appointment of Lemoore Planning Commissioners. 4-11, approval second reading ordinance 2026-01, amending Title IV of the Municipal Code to establish an event-based entertainment zone, and resolution 2026-01, establishing the boundaries and activation protocols for the Lemoore Downtown Entertainment Zone. 4-2, approval salary schedule updates effective January 1st, 2026 and January 5th, 2026. 4-13, approval agreement between the City of Lemoore and IG Service for wastewater rate study. 4-14, approval adoption of the City of Lemoore 2025-2026 state legislative program. 4-15, information only, strategic planning report 2022. 4-16, information only, Old City Hall update. 4-17, information only, building division update, December 2025. 4-18, approval early retirement incentive program. That was a lot. Would any member of council like to pull any items other than 4-7? We have that one pulled already.
Yeah. 4-4, 4-8, 4-10, and 4-16.
Anything else?
4-14, 4-15, 17 and 18.
Maybe I should have asked which ones you guys didn't want to
Yeah,
pull.
I think that-
Councilmember Cruz, anything you'd like to pull? Okay.
Can I make one request before you vote on the consent calendar? When you're pulling these items for the questions or discussion, can you do 4-17 before the others? We have the pastor here from South Valley. So if you have any specific questions for him, that way he can answer before he sneaks out.
Sure. Anyone from the public like to pull any of the remaining items? The selection is few, but just in case. All right, so I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 4-1, 2, 5, 6, 9, 11, 12, and 13.
Move as presented, Mayor.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brewster. Second by Councilmember Gornick. Councilmember Brewster?
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick?
All right.
Councilmember Cruz?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Passes 4 in favor, 1 absent. 4-17. Did you have a specific question or concern on that one?
Yeah, could you give us an update? For the public as well, not just the council.
Sure. Can you pull up that staff report?
Just pulling it up. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, 416. My apologies. Thank you, Jocelyn.
So below is the email that staff received in regards to an update, and the pastor from South Valley, Ricky Hemme, is present also if you have specific questions.
Well, good evening. Thanks for having me tonight. Thank you guys for everything that you do. And thanks for asking for an update. A few things to put on your radar. We have been working very hard on the project. There have been some things that have slowed it down. One of the things that slowed it down was we didn't have plans of the old city hall. As you know, the building is over 100 years old. at some point in time, those plans were either lost or they disappeared. I have no idea where they went. So as a result, we've been working with an engineer an architect to redraw plans from scratch. He's done a great job for us, but there were some issues when it came to things like plumbing and electrical and some of the mechanical engineering parts of the project. So we've tracked down different people who have worked on the building over the years to get an idea of what's happened behind the walls and what's happened with projects over the years. And we feel like we understand that now. And so we have put together a plan for the reconstruction of the inside. We began demolition. So demolition is almost complete. And then we're going to begin to do the electrical and the mechanical and then the beautifying of the space. First, I want to say thank you guys for trusting us with this project. We're really grateful. It's a beautiful building, and we really believe it's going to be used well and be a blessing to the community. Our goal in this is that it's something that Lemoore can actually can be known for. I know that there are other things in town that people recognize and that Lemoore is known for, and we're hoping that the city would have this coffee shop as something that is known for in Lemoore. And so with that in mind, we're working to do something that's just really well done, really thorough and planned out. So we have engineers, we have architects, we have a committee that's helping with design and the menu and the different drinks and food options and just the whole big picture. And so ideally, I would be here to tell you a date that we're going to be open, but I still don't have that. And so what we have done is we've submitted some plans recently to the city. So they'll be getting back to us on that for approval for some permits. And the good news is things will be moving much faster now because all the hard work is now done. We have the contractors in place. They're beginning their work this month. And we'll see things really progress over there. We're going to do the work on the inside, and we'll also beautify some of the landscaping on the outside. And so once we have a date in mind of opening, I'm excited to announce it. I will announce it. And thank you again for trusting us with the project. Do you have any questions for me?
I was the one who asked for an update on this, and my reason for it is that we all supported it. We were excited about it, and when we told citizens about it, they were equally excited about doing something really neat with the old building. So
Yes.
The point about pulling items off of the consent agenda is that we do the public's business, and it should be done in public.
Yeah.
And so we want to be on the record as to what we're doing with it and how we're doing it with it. And
yes,
you guys are very brave. To go into 100-year-old building without any plans.
I've learned that through the process for sure.
Good. Well, good luck and look forward to.
But it is going well. It has been slower than anticipated, but it will be speeding up. And yeah, so thank you again for trusting us with this opportunity. Thank you for supporting us in this, and we really are praying and hoping that it's a blessing to our community.
Great. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council.
It's information.
Oh, it's information. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go back to item 4-4.
Can you pull up the staff report? I just wanted to thank city staff and everybody for going through all the I don't know how hard it was to get this grant, but I've written grants myself and I know they're very time consuming and they are a pain in the butt. I think this is awesome that we were able to pull this off. Can you go to the pictures of the playground equipment that are in there? And just so for the people that haven't seen the agenda packet, I think there's a couple. So this is what will be out at the Little League Park. Marissa, can you go over how much they're giving us?
Yes, so the grant is 40,000 and some change. I can't see it now on the screen.
Yeah.
But just over 40,960. And then the rest we would be paying for with development impact fees for parks.
So I recruited some guys in purple over here to come speak as well. So come on, Tito. You're gonna have to go up there with them, probably.
First off, I would like to thank the city council for allowing us to host the park and make a safe place. Your guys' continued support with the Lemoore Low League has been astronomical in making it better. In our own budgets, we tried to make it better, but without your help, we wouldn't be where we're at. From earlier last year with the AED to make sure the kids are safe, to now to the park to make sure the community is now brought together. And it's no longer just a little league park. It's a community center that people can utilize when the season's over.
Matt?
Yeah, that's just one of the hardest things. We all have kids. Like I bring a family and I got little ones running around and they really don't have too much to do except watch baseball. So something like this is going to be really helpful for the individuals like us with multiple kids, especially little ones. So really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Any other questions or comments from the public? I'll bring it back to council. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So move, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Brewster,
Second.
second by Councilmember Cruz. Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz.
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Passes 4 in favor, 1 absent. 4-7.
Good evening, Council. Steve Brandt, City Planner. This is a grant application that we've put together in cooperation with the OLDCC, which is a offshoot of the Department of Defense. And so it is a grant that we'll be working with Naval Air Station Lemoore in collaboration with. So it's looking at ways to make our infrastructure more resilient in the long term. And I think there's people in the audience that would like to speak to it as well.
Sure.
It's been a couple of years since I've been here, but thank you for having me. I'm Captain Finley, Executive Officer, Naval Air Station Lemoore. Been there since May of 23. I take over command of the installation August of this year, and I'll be here till 29. I have a lot of investment in this community and the air station. Overall, I'm here really to show the support of this enduring collaboration between the city and Naval Air Station Lemoore. What this is going to do, it's going to give a comprehensive installation readiness study. It's going to look at 4 items, which is usually big for a council, any city, including installation. Going to be looking at water, electrical, wastewater, and communications. And overall, there's going to be different phase work that we're all going to be probably reading about. And I really appreciate your help and support on this. But we're going to be, hopefully, one of the end states is going to be identifying and mitigating the risks to critical infrastructures. As we know, we can have water issues, we can have electrical. That for city, especially for NES Lemoore, and I believe Lemoore, like you got to keep those up to date. They're very fragile, more than probably some people know about. All right. But the project will enhance the operational resiliency of both the community and Naval Air Station Lemoore. I'm here with our community projects liaison officer, and I believe I also have Ernie that's going to be on the line. I believe he's dialed in as well. I can answer any questions if you guys have. So once again, thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Any questions?
I've got a couple in terms of, do you have any specifics you've identified early on with respect to energy?
let's see if I could put that out to Cynthia or Ernie.
I've got a couple if you don't.
Sure.
Well, small nuclear reactors. In
Sorry.
terms of, we got to think big.
I agree with you. I don't have anything on that. I would love to look into it and I'll ask some questions about it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's something that regionally, both Hanford, Lemoore, the Palace, yourself, one small reactor would be able to take care of a lot of us for a lot of years in this area. And to keep that resource here is fundamental to our existence as well. So that's an area I'd sure like to see us explore. And I'm sure you're also looking at wastewater and things of that nature too.
Yep.
And your infrastructure is as bad as ours in terms of water and things like that. So yeah, I think this is a great idea and look forward to supporting this project for a long time.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from council? Any questions or comments from the public on this item?
Hi, good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speak up.
Hi, this is Ernie Echavesta. I'm with the Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation. So I am the project manager lead on this effort in collaboration with the city and the air station. So just here on call to see if there are any additional details you'd like to hear about this potential or about this grant and effort. When it comes to electrical, we're not really honed in on specific infrastructure goals. The intent here is to essentially conduct a review of those infrastructure elements, see if there's any potential to upgrade areas and or see what the feasibility is for infrastructure enhancements. And so that's kind of where we would gather input from utility providers, the public, and any stakeholders that want to participate in the process to see where there are infrastructure enhancements that can occur that then bring the city the potential to seek and be in a position to receive funding for construction-ready grants.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for him? No.
I don't.
We're just putting it out there that we are not opposed to mini nuclear because everyone here knows we have such an issue with our utility provider. So any options that we can look at, we're definitely open to. So
I will, I'll ask a question.
Yeah,
I hate to get everywhere I go.
Yeah, been on a couple of your aircraft carriers and taking the tour of the nuclear reactor is, and if anybody knows how to use it, you guys do. So, great.
Thank you. If there's no further questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move that we approve for tax 7.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Cruz and a second by Councilmember Gornick. Councilmember Cruz?
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick?
Yes.
Councilmember Brewster?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Passes 4 in favor, 1 absent. Now we have 4-8. I can't remember who pulled that.
I did.
Okay.
Who is it?
There's 2. It was sorry. Well, I call her Anna. Anne Marie Galvan and Frank Hernandez.
Are they here? You know, when I got appointed, I had to give a speech. So,
Yeah.
I was just wondering if they were going to be here or not.
That's why you're sitting on the council now.
Yeah, affirmative. I have no further questions then.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on this from council? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, Mayor.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brewster,
Second.
second by Councilmember Cruz. Councilmember Brewster?
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz?
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Passes 4 in favor, 1 absent. 4-10, would you like to know the names of that as well?
Yes, please.
So it's Chris Vansel, who would be new to the Planning Commission, and then the reappointment of Mitchell Couch. Chris Vansel is in the audience if you'd like him to come up and speak. Oh,
See, look, they're here.
if you'd both like to come up and speech, make a speech.
Hi, Council. Thank you very much. When I saw the agenda today, I was actually honored to be reappointed. I saw that there were 6 people that applied, and to be reappointed is great. I currently work as the building official for the city of Hanford, and it's a wonderful job. And the great thing I love about it is basically when it comes to what we have with our cities and everything is growth, right? And my job is to make sure that all the buildings are built to code, the building standards codes that we have, to make sure they're done safe. I get to lead a wonderful staff over there. Sometimes I know that there's hesitation for somebody that works for a city to be appointed, maybe to be on planning commission on another city, but Lemoore is my home. I love it, and I am really wanting to see and be a part of that growth as things come forward. We always want to think and not look at cities that compete with each other. We grow together. So as goes Lemoore, so as goes Hanford, we all go together. So we have sometimes the same developers that we have, like Lennar building in both of our cities. We collaborate with each other, hopefully, on that. Also, it's just been an honor to work with Steve and Christy throughout the last 4 years. And again, honored to be up for reappointment, and I ask for your vote. Thank you.
But for the record, Lemoore is better than Hanford, correct?
He said that very hesitant.
Maybe True is far from the microphone.
Hello, good evening, council. My name is Chris Vansel, and I would like to say the same thing. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to have a chance to be elected into this position. I served with Finley back in 2008. I'm a retired Navy veteran, came here 2006. Lemoore has been my home. My kids grew up here while I was deployed. Lemoore had great things to raise your children, and I love hearing the Lemoore coming up for the Little League field. Is great opportunities. Currently, I'm a construction manager, and I've had opportunity to work on multiple things with state fire marshals and getting into sequels and other things that kind of helped me become appointed into this position. And I really look forward to the opportunity of serving. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for me?
Any questions?
I'd just like to take it up. Are there any other planning commission members here, or just the two? Okay.
Oh, Dan, yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to give you my thought about housing, and I'd speak for myself. Other council members can share their opinions too. But one of the issues that I've had with our planning in terms of housing has been we are guided by, and I use the word loosely, guided by the state of California. Okay. If you ever want to be guided by anything else. Anyway, we have this a quota system that we have in the county, in terms of the size. Okay.
It's a state quota, by the way. It's not the county, but it's a state quota.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a state quota. Yeah. Well, we meet that quota, particularly in lower income and smaller size houses. Matter of fact, we exceed it. Where we are not meeting it is in our middle and larger homes. And I think for a vitality of a city, you need a good mix. And so I'd like you to keep that in mind when developers come to you, because I have no problem saying no to developers when they give us a 1,500 square foot lot, and then they put a 1,200 square foot house on it, and my backyard is from the wall to this counter. Okay. Those are the kinds of things that I'd like to see less of and more of some of the others. I don't want to be a 55,000 city. I'd like to be below that number. And because I think it's more manageable in terms of our volunteer fire department and things of that nature that are part of our culture. And when we get a senior housing complex that comes to us and wants to put a third story in, but no elevators, it's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, unless they're going to provide somebody to carry up the groceries and do the other stuff to the third floor. You guys should say no for us and say, there's some apartment complexes, there are a couple nice ones, have some third story, but they're back into the lot.
I think your 3 minutes is up, sir.
Madam, I asked for an extension of my 3 minutes.
If that was
Thank you
agendized,
very much.
I
But,
would.
Those are the kinds of things that I'd like to see you. Feel free to have those debates about it. Because, we're looking for quality. At least that's what I'm looking for. And so it's my 3 cents.
And 4 minutes. Just kidding. Well, he still went over. So I have to say for both the Planning Commission and for the Parks and Recreation, any of the people that applied, we couldn't have gone wrong with. We have some great people that stepped up and applied for these positions. It was a tough decision to narrow it down for sure. But these are the two that, for this one that I landed on with, speaking to the individuals and, just looking at, their applications and their work in the community already and just weighing all of that. And this is where I landed. So.
Absolutely. And I liked what they had to say.
Mhm.
And I feel like I know them better now. So, I actually get to put a name to the face.
Or you can come to a planning commission meeting and see their face all the time.
Yeah, that's true too. They don't want me to show up though.
They don't bite.
I'm just glad we have interest finally in some of these. Because when I got on Parks and Rec, I think we had like 4, and then we met twice in the year. So thank you guys for volunteering and doing that stuff.
Any questions or comments from the public on these vacancies that are about to be filled, hopefully? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council.
So move, Mayor.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brewster,
Second.
second by Councilmember Gornick. Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 4 in favor, 1 absent. Congratulations. Next, we have 4-14. That was you, right, Gornick? Did you pull that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any specific questions? Kind of lengthy.
So is this a requirement of us or the League of Cities asked us to do this?
So I will say that I asked for us to do this. I asked for it a couple of years ago. And the reason why is because when there is legislators or the League of Cities or anyone that's asking for support, opposition for a bill, it's usually a pretty quick turnaround. And to get it on our agenda for it to come to council to get a vote so that we can send a letter from council supporting or opposing or support or oppose if amended. We don't normally get to participate in that as a council because of the time it takes to get it on the agenda and get it approved. So if we have a legislative platform, as long as it falls under those guidelines of our legislative platform, we're able to send letters more quickly. So
Well,
that's the reason why I'm asking.
I just want some clarification on items 1 and 2. It talks about the state legislative program. So, and then it says authorize the city manager and designate staff to advocate positions consistent with the program.
So that's our state legislative platform that we're going to adopt. If we adopt this today, this will be our state legislative. I call it legislative platform. They have it legislative program. It's the same.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
So
seem-
it's the city's position on the state's items. So it wouldn't be on federal items. It's just items that are within the state. So
Yeah.
it's not in alignment with the state. We may oppose things that the state's recommending. It's just anything within the state. It would be the city's platform.
Well, we can do it all the time if we have this platform in place, so we don't have to bring it back every time. If there's something that council, the things in here, if we all agree on them, then if there's something that goes against or supports what we already stand for, we can send a letter immediately.
Okay, maybe I'm not being clear. So when are we gonna have an opportunity to identify what this platform is that we want to say yay or nay on?
It's attached. Can you scroll?
I didn't see that. Oh, okay, I didn't open that one.
So it's lengthy.
That's fine.
I don't know if you want to
No.
wait and
No, I
have a
do that
chance
on
to
my-
review it and
yeah,
vote next
I didn't-
meeting.
I didn't open this tab for some reason. Probably because I saw the page numbers on it, so. But there was something also that I think I read in here about they're doing something with bond measures. Does that ring a bell? They're going after some refinancing of local bonds under some state. Anyway, just put that on your radar. What is it in terms of, I don't know if it's something I got in the mail or it was something I read with respect to this, but it had to do with somehow somebody's up there thinking about pooling statewide bonds into another bond category that they can refinance to leverage some, they're just, sounds like they're money kind of stuff. I don't think we want to get, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah,
But
I don't-
it made me think, I wondered how many bonds we had as a city. And that's why it triggered that thought in terms of, are they talking about like bonds? Because I know we've got some bonds for the sewer plant and things like that. And I thought, I don't want to mess with that.
Do you want us to bring an informational item on bonds within the city that we currently have? Just
Helpful, but I also think on these on the platform that you want us to either up, down, or get some other guidance on, that'd be good too.
I don't believe that was part of the platform. I'm not
This
sure.
is just a skeleton of how you're gonna.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's vague in our general platform, what we are for. I don't really think there's anything that it states that we're against, but
They don't really care what we're for. I mean, but I don't mind telling them what it's for.
it just helps give us a voice.
Yeah.
That's the intent behind it.
Okay. So move.
Is there any other public or any other discussion from council? Anyone from the public like to comment on this item? Mr. Reed?
Just one question. If something comes up that you want to respond to, who makes the decision how you respond?
My belief is if it is within the legislative platform, that either the city manager, a department head, or the council the mayor could send a letter on behalf of council to whatever legislative, whether it's the Senate, the Assembly, whoever it may be, that it has a bill.
So there would be a meeting of some sort for us
This
to
would-
get together and say, this is how we want to do it?
This would bypass that if it falls within our legislative platform.
I understand that, but still, someone has to make a decision how you're going to respond. But before you respond, is it going to be one person makes the decision? Or is it going to be 2 or 3 or 4 or council members that will have a short meeting and say, this is how we need to respond, even though it doesn't have to be approved by the council?
let's have some real fun. Okay, let's take an item that, let's say, that comes up with respect to turning over the voter rolls of the county to the federal government.
That's not in our jurisdiction.
Well, maybe. the
Oh, you're
state-
asking if the state's asking, okay.
Yeah, if the
Fair.
state says, no, we're not going to do it, and, or they're informing the government, but let's say it comes down to us. You want to know how this is.
Yes, how
Yeah,
you
that's
decide.
what I'm saying, you know, it's a good one. How's that gonna?
So typically what I was used to, we had something similar in Coalinga. And so we would get letter requests from the League of California Cities that would have drafted letters either asking us to support or oppose something. And if it fell within the council's direction of what their legislative goals were there, then I would reach out to the mayor and say, I have this letter that I'm recommending that you sign. The mayor would come review it and then determine if they're going to sign it or not. The reason for this is because generally it's like, we have this letter, we need it back within 48 hours.
Right.
And so there's not time to put it on a council agenda. So here in Lemoore, we usually don't respond because we're not able to. So Lemoore never has a voice in anything. And so the goal of this would be, as long as it falls within the legislative program, then it would be signed and sent out on behalf of the city without having to come to council every single time.
Well,
And
that's
we don't
kind
have-
of my point. It doesn't have to come to council, but there should be some discussion between 2 or 3 people or 4 people,
Well,
not just one.
We
that
have the
decide.
Brown Act that we have to follow, which
But
is
but the Brown Act, though, you can go up to how many though?
2.
Okay, but at least that's one extra set of eyes on something.
So 2 council members, a city manager, you know, I mean, that would be adequate to me, you know, it's something that we really need to consider in doing. Thank you.
And I have no problem with that. My issue is that we've missed out on opportunities to have a voice. So if it's council's pleasure that at least 2 council members, if they want to designate, or if they just want whoever's available, whatever, I'm open to whatever. I just want to be able to send letters when there are letters to be sent.
I think there should at least be 2 eyes on it, 2 sets of eyes.
Would it be council's pleasure to have that be the mayor and the mayor pro tem, or would you like to designate otherwise?
If I could make a recommendation, if you're going to have 2 council members, I would say maybe the mayor and an alternating council member based on who's available. Because if you designate 2 specific and then that person's not available, then we still miss out on the opportunity to send it.
An alternate.
Is that sufficient? I'll just go ahead and put it out there. Does council want more time to review the legislative platform to make any potential changes to it?
Yes, please, Mayor.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. And you know, if we're approving something that we.
Yep, that's fine. I hope we can table this item if we have consensus.
I mean, I just want 2 sets of eyes looking at it, because as long as you have 2 sets of eyes, because you can't do anything else beyond that anyways.
Did we get a request to ask for our opinion on redistricting? Yeah, that proves my point. They don't care what the hell we think.
Do I have consensus to table it, or do you guys want to?
No.
I think I had 2.
But after we take a look at the program, then the state, yeah.
And just for the record, anyone in the audience or watching online, this draft is available on the website. If you click on agenda packet instead of agenda, it will bring up all of the staff reports and all of this information as well. So make sure that you click on agenda packet to review all of that. So we have consensus to table this item to the next meeting. 4-14. And then item 415, strategic planning report.
And do we see that for the public as well? And where are we with respect to our goals and our completions?
So these goals were set by the council in 2022. Many of them have not been met. And so at the last meeting, you asked to have the council set some goals and objectives. My recommendation is not to set new ones at this time because the city hasn't met the last goals that were set. And if I'm being very honest, as we work towards these, we haven't been able to truly focus on them because there's been a lot of cleanup of things that were previously done incorrectly that we've been having to fix before we can even work towards something new.
Totally agree. Just wanted to get you on the record on that. Okay. But it wouldn't hurt to have your eye take a look at this and reevaluate what we want to come back with. Have a discussion about it, or at least a study session. Yeah.
What, I'm confused, what study session?
Take a look at these goals in relationship to whether or not we should continue them, expand them, have some new ones in it. Just a study session. Like she said, there were things needed more pressing that we asked that she take a look at before we move forward. So that's why none of these are done. A lot of them are done.
Yeah, I'd like to see a study session on what the goals were set back in 2022.
Yeah, these guys.
And let's reevaluate and see if they're even possible.
Their goals are in the staff report, or the report is attached as a document. But I think it would be good to have a study session and see if, I think they're all attainable. It's just that we have some pressing matters that had to be dealt with right away that.
Well, and there are a couple of them in there that are related to some discussions we just had with the grant that's coming through with base, you know. So, I mean, they're.
We could do a study session on what the goals are and maybe what the status is, and if you want to continue pursuing those same goals, which would be my recommendation until we reach them. And then maybe have new goals set once these are met.
And it might be helpful, the firm that we've employed to assist us with grants. Have they had a chance to look at this, or?
I'm not sure if they have or not.
But it might be helpful to them at least.
Yeah, what they do is they send us a monthly report on available grants. And then we match that to what our goals are. And we tell them what grants we want them to write on our behalf that align with things that we're working on. Sometimes there's things that come up that it's not necessarily within our goal, but it would still be nice for the community and there's not a grant match. We pay them a monthly fee regardless of how many grants they write, so we'll have them write it anyway. But they don't really, they just tell us all the grants we're eligible for, and it's up to us to match what fits for us.
We could do that with Google search too. I mean, if they look at some of our goals and said, yeah, there's some.
So is there consensus to bring a study session back? I have 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next one is 418.
Oh, the early retirement.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was there any public comment on?
Yeah.
415, the strategic planning? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and go on to 418. 417.
417 was pulled, but I'm not sure if that was intentional or if that was meant to be the old city hall item being pulled.
I'm pretty sure that was City Hall.
Yeah, I kind of thought they were one and the same. I didn't know.
Okay.
Let's go down to 418.
Okay. 418. Did you have specific questions?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I don't recall. Did we set some timelines in here on that policy?
We did, and I would like to ask, I was going to pull this item if no one did, just to ask. There's an election period that's referenced in the document. For this document, I believe it's like February 1st through February 28th, which may not be realistic since it's already January 20th. So if you are going to approve this program, I would like you to approve it with some flexibility in the election period because I may need to adjust the dates.
Well, I was thinking a little differently in terms of, I'm retired. I would think you need a longer period to think about retirement. And so what I was wondering is if that, identifying individuals who are 55 and notifying everybody that this policy has occurred, and you have from, you know, or that they're 54, you know, you're going to be returning 55 within this next year. It's time for you to begin looking at this early retirement option that may be available to you and getting them to begin thinking about it. And then some other timelines in there that you would need in terms of planning or focusing. So that way it becomes our policy with respect to how we want to manage the early retirement plan. It may or may not be something we want to do every year. It may be something we do when there's a financial emergency, or, you know, I don't know, but I was just thinking that I was thinking about my process, and it was nice to have that lead time before actually saying, yes, I'm going to do it. Just as a courtesy to our employees.
Were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say, I think that would be fine, if you were going to approve it and somebody wanted to make a motion, that the election period may vary, but the basic skeleton of the program is acceptable, then we can flex those dates, and they're gonna need to change year to year anyway.
Would it be appropriate to have the council approve it on an annual basis based upon the date you tell it to notify employees who are approaching 55 and older?
We could, but then we're gonna have to remember every year to put it on the city council agenda, where if you just give the approval with the flexible dates, then we can determine what that calendar looks like.
Right. It may not be an annual thing, though. That's what I'm getting at. Do we want to say that this is an optional policy extended by the city council?
So we did discuss that, and there's positions that will be identified annually. So it may be that next year there's no positions identified. Those have to be approved by council. And so if you don't approve any positions next year, then the program doesn't happen next year.
See, that was part of when I began thinking about it. Why are we looking at positions as opposed to people who might want to retire? And I know one of the examples was, well, you might get 5 police officers who want to go out at one time.
Because the program is only a financial benefit to the city if we identify positions that have a cost savings associated with them. So hypothetically, we can't really fill all the police officer positions right now. It's difficult to find people that want to be police officers anywhere in California. And so if we identified the position of police officer of who was going to be eligible this year, and we had 3 or 4 people leave, then we're down bodies, and we're really not saving any money because we're going to be spending more in overtime to have the shifts covered. So if we identify positions that result in a cost savings to the city, that's how we're justifying the early retirement incentive. Otherwise, there's no incentive to the city to offer the benefit.
I guess I'm having trouble with why it wouldn't be there'd be a cost savings. I would be bringing somebody in at a lower rate than somebody who's going out at a higher rate.
Yeah, but if we can't bring them in, then we're paying an overtime rate. If we can't
We're paying an
backfill the
overtime rate now.
Yeah, but we're going to be paying an overtime rate for more shift coverage, because if we have, like right now, we're down 3 police officers, chief. We're down 3, and so if we have 3 more retire, then we're covering 6 shifts with overtime.
How long have we been doing that, chief?
We're still trying to get back to staff from Measure S. When those 2 positions were frozen, we haven't backfilled those. Because again, you're going to lose some through general attrition. People are going to leave the business completely. Some are going to retire. Some are going to go to different agencies. Right. But it's a constant, we have to be on top of it. We have to be constantly recruiting just to keep what we have. Because over the last 5 years, we've typically we haven't been to full staff. We haven't been to full staff in the last 8 years. So it's.
Do you know any city councils that are at full staff?
Say again?
Any cities that are at full staff?
Hanford was full staff up until last month.
I guess that, you know, I don't want to equate the police officer with a math instructor.
Sure.
But it's the same kind of principle, you know,
Sure.
I mean, there's only so many math instructors out there.
Sure.
And I'm not always going to be able to hire a math instructor. So I'm going to have a math instructor teach a couple extra classes.
I think with our department, just speaking for our department, we're at kind of a critical point as it is, right? You've heard me say before that we need 4 additional officers so we can have a 4th beat in the city of Lemoore. We can't even entertain that until you're
whole.
Right. I could ask for 4 additional bodies in next year's budget. We're never going to get those 4 additional bodies on staff because we're just constantly, until we can fill those vacancies, it's just.
But if I'm 55 and you're on your squad.
Sure.
Okay. And I'm not going to have this opportunity, what you're saying.
But I think what the city manager is saying is that now we're just adding, we're taking something that we weren't having to deal with into the equation. We're going to lose X number of bodies that we really weren't projecting, or didn't necessarily need to. We would have to backfill those positions in overtime
until we,
right. But it's
I see this as a benefit. And I could see where you're talking, where it could be a negative in terms of operational, but in terms of a benefit as an employee, that no matter whether it was in the police department or, you know, office staff, whatever, that could be an enticement to come and work for the city.
I think if we were looking at it from just a benefit perspective for employees and we had the funding to do that, it would be great. But like, if I was being honest, I would say if you want to include all positions in it, I would advise you not to approve it because we can't afford it. It only works if we have a cost savings after the payout by not backfilling a position or filling a position at a lower rate, which works in a lot of positions. It does not work this year with the police department. It's not to say that police officers would never be eligible. Maybe next year the outlook is different or the year after. But that's why it would be position specific and what positions are going to offer a cost savings to the city so that we can be able to afford to provide this benefit. Because if we just offered it right now as a blanket across the board, we couldn't fund it.
But if you had if you had if you made it based upon financial condition, okay, that you needed to make some room within the city budget, okay, you're saying that you would just pick particular individuals within departments for those?
Not individuals, it would be positions. Like, there are departments that have more people in positions than are needed. And so if they opted to retire early, we would not need to backfill their position. And then there are others that if they retired, we would have a cost savings in bringing someone on at a lower rate because I know that we would be able to backfill their position because they're positions that are easy to fill, but that's not the case with police officer positions right now. Not to say that it's never going to be.
I don't think it ever will. I mean, you've got ICE all over the place recruiting. You've got the prisons recruiting. You've got, I mean, there's just other cities recruiting. There's a significant demand for law enforcement training. You know, I understand. Okay.
Any other questions or comments from council? Any questions or comments from the public?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. My name is Chris Barnhart, 415 Champion Street. I just have a question because this sounds very familiar to something that I just dealt with being a government service employee out on the base. A reduction in force is what this sounds like. Basically, you are offering individuals an ability to retire to get rid of their position. By retiring early, you don't rehire to fill that position.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
There may be one or two positions that we don't need to fill, that the money could be allocated for other positions within the city. So we'd end up with the same number of full-time employees that we currently have, just in different departments. But most of the positions would be backfilled with somebody starting at the beginning of the pay range. So our salary ranges have 6 steps. So the people that are retiring are likely at step 6, and then the people that we would be hiring would be starting at step 1, more than likely.
Okay, so it sounds like then you're taking the individuals that know how the job is supposed to be done and backfilling them with brand new people that have no clue what's going on. So we're going to create more issues. That
Well,
government-
you know, we just had a whole year or to almost 2 years looking at our waste removal service. We could have outsourced that. We didn't. And we ended up, how many more garbage trucks did we order? Two or three. Yeah. So I mean, it's not as simple as this looks like a reduction of force. My discussion was, do we want this as a tool from a policy point of view, that there may be a time where a reduction in force, we may look at the age of our workforce and see that we have a number of people who are eligible to retire. They might want to. Okay. And for some of my point is, I'm retired. I didn't get my incentive was to retire, but deciding when to, it could be a critical decision for somebody who's on the hook. So becomes a totally different issue from the retiree's perspective as to, is there a benefit for me? And we have some benefits in this for opting for an early retirement. Yes, and there are some financial benefits to the city if we decide instead of a department of 10, it's now a department of 8. Okay, and it can function very well with 8 versus that could be a savings, but that's not the intent of it as much as could this be a benefit that assists with the CalPERS golden handshake requirements and things of that nature. So yeah.
And just to note, employees aren't forced to take this. It's just an option.
Yeah, it's an option. It's not.
Okay. I appreciate it, Council. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, thank you.
I guess that's the other thing. I know you were listening to this, but did you read any of the benefits of this?
No, Councilmember, I did not read the benefits to it. I was just
other-
mostly listening to what's going on, and that's where my questions were coming from. I am making notes on my own agenda to go back and look over a few different things, especially when it comes to some future events within the city.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
I don't want to mention what those benefits are, because other people won't get the same idea.
Any other public comment? See none, I'll bring it back to council.
So moved, Mayor, as presented.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brewster.
With modified dates,
Oh, yeah.
election dates? Yes.
As amended, yes.
Second, Mayor, with amended dates.
Second by Councilmember Cruz. Councilmember Brewster.
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz.
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick.
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Passes 4 in favor, 1 absent. Now we'll go ahead and move on to public hearing. Item 5-1, public hearing, first reading, ordinance 2026-02, adopting planned unit development number 2025-01, located at 109 Hamlet Street in the city of Lemoore, and resolution 2026-02, approving tentative parcel map number 2025-03 to divide an existing 0.44 acre parcel into 4 parcels located at 109 Hamlet Street in the city of Lemoore. APN number 020-184-020. Mr. Brandt.
Good evening again. This item was first heard by you at your last meeting. A staff report was given and the public hearing was opened. After a discussion that included the applicant and some of the nearby residents, the council chose to continue that item to this meeting. And so we are here again and the public hearing remains open. Staff has no new information on the project and recommends that you just continue the hearing. The applicant is in the audience.
Is there any questions or comments from council?
Yeah, I do. Mr. Bacias, I want to thank you for the information you sent me. I did have a chance to drive by to look at the duplexes. And my question to you is, would you consider 2 duplexes on that space in order to save or work around those oak trees?
Sure.
Good evening, Council. It's a pleasure to see you guys again and be welcomed back into your chambers. And what we're handing out are the street view concepts that were shared with Council Member Gornick, which kind of gives a little bit more of a visual of the homes that we're proposing. There's a few things that we just kind of wanted to chat about and clarify. We did take some time, like you guys recommended, and went back to the drawing board and just kind of considered all possibilities. And we still feel very confident that what we proposed is the best use of the lot in which we own. However, we are also understanding your guys' feedback, and nobody knows your guys' town like you do. So in that, we have realized can we make 3 lots work? Yes, we can. Well, we maybe have to get a little creative with it, maybe consider some EDUs, things of that nature. Absolutely. But in all things land development, I think being flexible is a skill that we have. One item we do feel got a little overlooked in conversation was the benefit to council for the PUD. So in requesting the 4 lots, it comes with the requirement for the PUD. That document allows council a level of control and deciding what is actually going to be built on these lots when split. We've been very open that our role is to get this approved and get it something that's packaged and desirable for somebody to come and construct it. At this time, we are not financially secure enough to build all 4 homes. While that would be wonderful, but what we appreciated about the PUD and assigning this with a little bit of our reputation is that it sets standards on what can be built on those lots. So when we do sell them, that developer would come in and have to meet those standards, whether it's certain elevations, architectural aspects of it, square footage, ensuring that levels of the backyard is kept to the sizes that we've designated. This is not approved today, and we do go back to the 3 lot layout. Those are a level of control and decision making that would intentionally, for all purposes, not be associated with the property anymore. If you guys have any questions, though, we are here. We're excited to talk about it further and make sure that we are producing the product that you guys are comfortable with and that we see also equally worth tying to our name, right? As we mentioned, we're very local. We're based out of Tulare. These projects are not big magnitudes. We don't have a huge portfolio. We're taking all of these pretty seriously and looking to build relationships at this time, as well as a level of profitability that we would be foolish to act like we're not looking for. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. Oh,
and then just to touch on the question about putting a duplex here, I would say that that's something that we are considering as well. So if we do have to go back to the drawing board and we do have to explore the project a little bit further, that may be something that we've got to consider with the by right development of splitting this into 3 lots as opposed to the 4 that we're asking for. So that is something that we have considered. Correct.
So are you saying
pertaining to the oak trees, there was a few layouts. I'm going to be honest, I don't understand CAD like this gentleman does. So sometimes he starts laying things out, and there were a few layouts that could preserve some of the trees. They, in my opinion, aren't as visibly appealing for the natural flow of that street in that area. However, if the oak trees are kind of more of a priority in that aspect, I think that different layouts could be considered.
She's not talking about the trees as much as she's talking about the layout and how that would affect the trees and,
Yeah.
and look from the street view.
Yeah, most of those trees they're not on the street.
No.
They're in the back.
There are seven.
Yeah. So you're saying so when I looked at I drove by the lots in Tulare, I believe it was, Tulare, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So there's a fourplex there.
That is it. So that's a different situation. That's a duplex. There's only 2 homes there.
Excuse me, duplex.
Yep, they're
yeah.
2-story. And those are zoned and classified as apartments. These will be single family residents. What you saw is a product that we have designed and
But with the PUD, you could do
yes,
that. Though.
correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is if you were looking for 4 doors with
We could get 4 doors.
with the 2 duplexes, you get 4 doors.
Correct.
So that's all I was looking at in terms of that. Now I understand, you're in the financial business, you got to make the numbers work. But when I was looking at it in terms of 4 doors, I was thinking of that area in terms of its construction and and possibly saving at least one of the trees or 2 of the trees, that were there. That's all.
Correct.
Correct. Yes, absolutely.
Can you pull up the plans real quick for me? It'd be the first. Okay, so I'm not a architect or an engineer, so can you break this down for me, like real quick? Like, what am I looking at here?
On the floor, as far as the floor plans and what the homes would look like?
The size of the home, what's your distance? I'm assuming 10 is 10 feet between the home and the fence.
Yeah, so
backyard, all that good stuff.
yeah, Stephen can speak to this a little bit, but the things I would like to highlight with it is, as these are laid out, the 2 single-family homes were strategically placed on the ends to kind of, again, visually create a flow in the neighborhood. The 2 2-story homes were proposed for in the center lots, and both of these do meet all city-required setbacks. So we're not asking for any additional variances and allowing the homes to be closer than what the typical setbacks are for a standard home in the city of Lemoore.
Okay. Can you go up one more? I think it would be scrolling other way. There you go. There, right there. So throughout here, because I want to understand what your plans are for the 4 here. I think that's where I got goofed up last meeting. So the first lot, which should be on the corner, right? On mine, I'm looking here. 45 feet is the width of the backyard?
The width of that lot is 45 feet.
Okay.
The depth of the backyard is going to be something, I don't have it dimensioned here, but it's something between 25 and 30 feet, I want to say, of a backyard space.
Okay. But the length of the entire lot's 132 feet.
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty long lots. Your standard lots are being developed right now are about 50 by 100, or 60 by 110. A lot of developers will build. This one is these are longer. They're 130 feet long.
Yeah.
And then one other additional item we included in your handout is the existing neighborhood. The red lots are obviously what we're proposing, and we just thought that helped to visually kind of show what the existing neighborhood's lot dimensions and sizes were, and comparatively what approving the 4 lots would look like in that neighborhood. Obviously, the ones on Hamlet are larger lots. However, when you do start to look at the neighborhood and the actual parcel, they're not completely unstandardized to what that neighborhood is seeing at this time.
And how would you guys start your project? Would you start right there at the corner and work south, or?
So just confirming, council member, is our overall intention is to get these approved and to have these ready for a contractor to come in and build. So we would be selling all 4 lots individually and selling those off to contractors to build them or individual homeowners, however that worked out. And that's kind of where the PUD comes back into play, because that's really the only document that allows for us to have some say on what is built on that lot. If we go back to the 3-lot layout, we lose a level of control on the architecture features, the square footage, all of that.
Well, what if you did 2 lots instead of the 4 and built the duplexes?
Yeah, so that's a possibility. What we would typically do though is because we were allowed by right to get this into 3 lots, we would probably proceed forward with doing 3 lots.
Say that again.
Well, so we could subdivide this into 3 lots by right. Every lot would conform to the existing zoning by doing a 3-lot division here as opposed to the 4 lots. We were asking for deviations to get the 4th lot, so we've reduced, the size of the width of the lots, and that's what preempted the request for the PUD. But without that 4th lot, we're not required to actually apply for a PUD. So the PUD does give your council the ability to kind of weigh in on what the standards are here. And so there is a level of control that we can work together on and collaborate on with this project. And what Danny's saying is that if this proceeds forward with 3 lots, and we don't necessarily need the PUD at that point, and so if we do go and sell this off to somebody else, there's a little bit less control over what standards or what architectural features are required here, what finishes they put. Right now, we think we've proposed some really nice elevations here that, the wood siding, we think it fits in really well to the neighborhood that surrounds this project. But without the PUD, and we sell this off to another, developer, we split it into 3 lots, you might just get a house with stucco and no architectural features, and that's what they would be able to do by right. So we thought, putting our stamp on this project, getting the PUD is probably the best and most effective use to complement this existing neighborhood.
Any other questions or comments from council?
No, I think I'm good.
Mayor, as you open the public hearing, is it okay if I place one of these on the podium so that anybody coming up to speak can, okay.
Sure. Oh, if somebody wants to pass mine around, they can do that as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would just like to say thank you guys for allowing us to come back and represent this project to you guys, and we appreciate the open dialogue with you guys as well. Thank you.
No, I appreciate your guys' work on it. I really do. I mean, it's a nice product. No issue there. No issue with that.
So I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. Continue the public hearing. Any public comment on this item? See none, I'll bring it back to.
I just want to add one clarification. The comments about the PUD. If the council does want to go that route and tie these concepts into the PUD, that should be part of your motion to add that to the PUD, because it's not currently specifically stated that way in the resolution.
Sorry, say that again.
So the applicants were stating that you could use the PUD to require this house concept to be built. That would need to be added to your motion so that we get that on the record as being part of the PUD approval.
And that's why we have 4 lots.
That's if you chose to do what they're requesting is 4 lots with the PUD and these house types. But I'm saying that's not your only option, but if that's the way you want to go, then we'd recommend you actually state it that way in your motion.
So what about 2 lots on those 4? If we said, could you do a PUD with 2 lots instead of 4?
Well, the applicants are correct that if if you're only dividing this site into 2 lots, a PUD would not be required to do that because the 2 lots would meet the standard minimum lot size in the zoning ordinance.
Okay, and that zoning ordinance could accommodate a duplex.
Yes, the zoning ordinance does allow duplexes on those sites.
Right.
Clear as mud.
I'll come back if you have another question.
As the project applicant, we would be requesting that you guys do approve or make a motion on this project with the details or the architectural elevations that have been provided. Any deviation from those would require a substantial or a determination of substantial conformance, or actually having to come back before planning commission for approval. And we think that's the best and most, the best use for this project.
So just confirming what you would build, something that looks like this.
That is correct. And in substantial conformance to that.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and close the public comment or public hearing.
Steve, can you real quick? So based off of what they have shown here, they're
Yes.
meeting, and based off the plans that they have submitted, they are following our building code, everything.
Yes, the plans would need to be built to the building code,
Okay.
and they do meet.
They meet all of our
they meet our
standards.
our standards for setbacks. What triggers the PUD is the lot size. The lots are smaller than 5,000 square feet, and that triggers the PUD. But the way they've designed the homes, they're fitting homes that still meet the setbacks on these smaller lots.
Okay. Because what, 2 of the lots are, one's 6,057 and the other's 57, but they're technically, because of parcel B and C being at 39 and some change, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm picking up now.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
My brain's hurting over here. Jesus Christ. Yeah, God. So I did Parks and Rec. I'm good. I'm good.
Any other questions or comments from council?
I would just like to make a comment that I know I came across probably a little disgruntled last meeting, and the frustration, again, this is on me. Frustration shouldn't be taken out on small guys like you. Okay. Lennar is the ones that we were arguing with last time. And obviously we have other bigger entities coming in, to Dr. Gornick's statement earlier of the housing and all that kind of stuff. My personal opinion is they're taking a lot, again, after a week of sitting back and reading and looking. I don't want to take out on somebody that is trying to develop 4 houses. So if they're meeting all of the requirements that the city has established and they're meeting everything, Mayor, I would make the motion that we approve it. With the amended language that Steve needs in there.
Is that good enough?
Don't ask me that. You better read it. Give me a piece of paper to read it or something. I don't know that.
I believe what needs to be part of that is that the approved with the to the specification or to the Steve, help me out. What do you need?
The PUD needs to have an additional condition that the housing floor plans and elevations that have been presented would be built on the site or something with substantial conformance.
With the amendment that you just said.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brewster. Do I have a second? I'll second. Councilmember Brewster?
Yes.
I vote yes. Councilmember Cruz?
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick?
No.
Motion passes 3 in favor, 1 no, 1 absent. Next item we have is new business, discussion and direction, adjustments of city council stipends consistent with SB 329, reflecting a 5% increase per year since the last stipend adjustment in 2007. That's a weird way to say 2007, sorry.
So this item is on the agenda as requested. Staff is seeking direction regarding an adjustment of the city council stipend consistent with SB 329, which allows a 5% increase per year for each year since the last stipend adjustment, which occurred here in 2007. Currently, the city council member stipends are $300 per month, and the mayor's stipend is $400 a month. So if you were to do an increase for council members and you go the 5% for 19 years, you can increase council stipends to $585 per month, and you can increase the mayor's stipend to $780 per month. We just need direction on what council would like to do. There would need to be a resolution approved at an upcoming meeting. We just need direction tonight. And this adjustment wouldn't take effect until the next election period when a new council is seated.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion on this, and but I'd like to just I'm not running for office next time, and I believe in Thomas Jefferson that you should only have a minimum amount of service and go back and do what you were doing. And I was retired before I came, so I'm going to go back and do it again. But I've had an opportunity to, my goals of being on the council have been met. And I've also seen how the workload of the council members and that's affected a lot by having a talented city manager. And in addition to what we do here twice a month is we have other assignments. So with respect to the Sigma groundwater issues that the valley is going through, we have a representative that sits on the council. We have a representative that sits on the housing. We have a representative that sits on the county wastewater. We have a representative that sits on Caltrans. We have a representative that sits on housing, mosquito district. A number of those that are in addition are required. And my request was to, for the next election, is to redefine that job description so that individuals know when they get on the council, there are some other obligations that they have to fulfill. And it's kind of a truth in lending issue, you know, in terms of, it's not just the 2 meetings in the city council, it's some other. So that's the reason why I requested the city manager do this. And I'm not going to benefit from this, but I certainly want people who come to the council in the future know that there is some additional time involved, and they should be compensated for it like anybody else. And so and we are in a better position budget wise. We finished the year in the black, and I think we'll finish the year in a black again. And this is not onerous in terms of dollars, but I think it's reasonable in terms of what the council members' time is required. So with that, I'd make a motion to approve the recommended.
Before that, we're going to have some discussion, but noted your motion. Any other questions, comments, or concerns from council members?
I was just gonna ask, where do we land right now? Like in the valley?
Yeah.
I would say you're on the low end. Cities that are much smaller than Lemoore have higher city council stipends than what Lemoore currently has. I do think that it needs to be raised. In my opinion, it should be raised to the maximum that it can be, which isn't a lot. I mean, it would be going from $300 to $585 per month for city council members, and $400 a month to $780 per month for the mayor position. And the city council members here do a lot. I am not sure if the public is aware of, it's not just attending the city council meetings. There's a lot of other things that fall along with those duties. And still, if you break it down, it probably ends up being less than $1 an hour for all the time that's put in. And it's not impacting the current year's budget because these changes won't happen until the new council is seated. And so that could be properly budgeted for in next fiscal year.
Any other questions or comments from council?
I've seen that other councils have done, to Dr. Gornick's point on people thinking that sometimes it's just, twice a month. 3 of us now sit on public safety, or I'm on public safety, state policy committee. You're on which one?
Environmental quality,
Yeah, and you're on housing and.
housing, community,
Yes,
community,
So-
economic development.
Yeah, so 3 of your representatives from the city of Lemoore are on state policy committees, and we're all going to Sacramento this week. So I'm taking time off from work, obviously, yes, I chose this and I get it, okay? But, you don't get in this job to get rich, but you at least got to cover the gas a little bit. So, I would say if we were to add requirements, or like, say you're on a policy committee that's on top of stuff, an extra $100 while you're in that committee.
I did look into that part of it as well. So you can have individual stipends for committee membership and that, but it does go towards that maximum. So the maximum that's being represented by this number is the absolute max. So you can do something less than the full 5% for each of the 19 years, and then add the $100, $150 for each committee. But you'd have to manipulate it that way.
Okay.
Because of that max, yeah.
But
it's really a recognition in some respects of the time that's involved. And you're never going to get 100%.
No,
but
you lose money on this.
just something for it. Yeah. And because I think the council done a great job, in terms of representing us on those various committees. And the mayor's position should reflect the time that's involved in that. Because you go to a lot more meetings and a lot more ribbon cuttings than I do.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and open this up for public comment. Is there any public comment on this item? Mr. Reed, thank you for your patience.
I just have a comment on your math. I think there's a slight problem. If it's truly 5%, it's going to be more at the end than what you think it is. Because after 1 year, you have a new base. And so you've got 15% of that 15% that gets tacked on, or 5% of that 5%.
It's very specific on how it's calculated.
Yes, I think it might be more appropriate that you just say $15 and $20 per year. That would make it easier to understand. Thank you.
So then for the record, if we were to go by the recommended amount, it would be a specific number for council members, $585 per month, for mayor, $780 per month. So it wouldn't factor in all of that math. We would just say those numbers. Any other public comment on this item?
Eating Castle. Just gonna say my recommendation after sitting on different boards of trustees and things with the community, hit the max. Do the max. That there's more that goes into almost any job, and being in the Navy, I know that there are collateral duties that go along with any position that don't necessarily come with the stipend. I'd recommend y'all do the max for yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and bring it back to council. Any other questions, comments?
I'll second Doctor's original motion.
My premature motion.
So I have a motion by Councilmember Gornick and a second by Councilmember Brewster. Councilmember Gornick.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
so I just have to say, it's really hard to sit up here and give ourselves, potentially those who may continue on council or be elected, a raise. But it is nice to hear the community speak on seeing the value in that. So it does make it a little bit easier. But I know that, there'll be comments on social media and such. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and agree with my council members and vote yes. Just because of the amount of time that I feel like current council has put in a lot more time than maybe councils past. And I don't want to say just the previous council to this one, maybe, or even the previous council to that one, but maybe past that, of sitting on these boards, participating in these boards that are city, county level, state level. And then some of these boards that we sit on also have extra boards that we sit on. I sit on KCAG, which is Kings County Association of Governments, which I also sit on 3 other boards being on that committee. There is a lot involved, but I think that our council has stepped up to that challenge. And I'm very proud of them stepping up and being involved and taking part in those boards and actually having a seat at the table and being a voice for our city and our residents. So it makes it a little easier to vote yes. So passes 4 in favor, 1 absent. Next, we have city council reports and requests. Councilmember Brewster.
Well, Little League signups have ended. We have over 300 kids this year. We have tryouts this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Hopefully I'll make it to the Friday night one. I will be in Sacramento on Friday at our Public Safety Committee policy meeting, where we'll be going over all kinds of topics. For fire preparation, Prop 36, law enforcement policy, other policy and bills at state level they're trying to either oppose or support. Want to congratulate Bruce on his recognition of Employee of the Month, and I want to thank all our city staff for their continued hard work. Fire, police, all you guys are doing a good job. I've been hearing a lot of good things from people. So keep up the good work. We'll keep moving and let's get her done.
Councilmember Cruz.
Mayor, first I want to extend my deepest sympathies to the Lions family. Second, I want to thank the leaders in NAS Lemoore for their continued investment, support, and collaboration with the city of Lemoore. And as always, I would like to thank our city staff, safety rather, for all your efforts. We really appreciate it. But I also want to give a special kudos to the Public Works Department. During the holidays, I got a few messages regarding some flooding due to unprecedented. I can't say unprecedented. Yes. Rain, heavy rains, and it caused some flooding in some areas. And despite the closure, Public Works responded in a very timely manner. So thank you very much.
Councilmember Gornick.
We need to keep our eye on the Groundwater Sustainability Act and the requirements it's putting on farmers and in the valley. It's really kind of a silent ticking bomb, in terms of what's occurring. These government agencies that the state created are taxing authorities, and we're going to be taxing farmers and their employees who live in our cities, and it's difficult for me to see how they can stay in business, to be real honest, with this less water and have to pay more for having it. I also want to thank the Girl Scouts who came here bravely to tell us about their cookies.
Good salespeople.
Right. And our builders, Mr. Macias and your spouse, I appreciate your good luck with your project. Yeah. And thanks for thinking a little more. Hopefully there's a few more in town you can get to. So. Good.
Is that it? All right. Well, I am going to actually be brief because I don't have my phone with my notes on me. So you guys lucked out. But I did attend the Kings County Homelessness Collaborative meeting today, actually. And I wanted to highlight they have a home project, which is part of the home grant they received. This is through KCAO. $6.8 million to help with homelessness. And it's not just people who are currently unhoused. It also is for people who may be couch surfing or families who are living with, maybe had to move back in with parents with their spouse and their children due to financial circumstances currently. Lots of different aspects of trying to give support for people who are currently experiencing that or almost like they're making that decision whether they're going to pay their rent or fix their car so they can go to work. Those type of situations. There's a lot of flexibility in things that money can be spent on, but it is in certain parameters. But if anybody is in need of any of those services, you should go to the KCAO website under their housing portal. The contact for that program is Ali Espinoza. I will note that they did mention if you are currently receiving federal subsidy, you are not eligible for funds under this program, so that there's not any double dipping going on. Some of the things that they can do is to pay to fix a bill to fix your car, pay your past due utilities, pay past due rent if you're maybe in the stages of eviction. They can pay your past due rent or maybe even attorney's fees to fight that eviction to keep people in housing, which is something that there hasn't been much focus on until you're literally on the street. So it's good to see some proactive funding out there. They do have, again, I don't have my other notes with me, but they have until 2030 to expend those funds. So they have four and a half more years. So it sounds like a lot of money, but we'll see if we go the whole 4.5 years before it runs out. But that is available on KCAO's website if anybody is interested in that. And I also want to echo everything that my former council members have said up here on the dais as well. I also wanted to mention that the March 4th meeting, I will be in Sacramento for one of those boards I sit on with KCAG for Policy Council, advocating in Sacramento for our region, things that are important to us and projects where we need funding. So I'm going to put it out to council. Is it your pleasure to cancel that meeting, or would you like to continue the meeting and have Dr. Fornick run the meeting, or what's your pleasure?
And BYOB.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine there. Don't worry about us.
Okay. Just wanted to put it out there.
Good.
Just make sure you log on.
You could dial in.
Yeah.
You dial in.
Make sure you log on.
Those policy council, that's usually like kind of like annual conference where it's like morning till evening. But if I am not able to log on, I will definitely watch the YouTube once it's uploaded.
Should have a high rating.
It should. Yeah. Lots of thumbs up. So with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn into closed session. We have one item, Government Code Section 54956.9 D2, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. So thank you all for being here tonight.